a single arm version of a face pull with a little bit of rotation. And what we're gonna be doing, let me just show you because it's a pretty simple movement really, but I'll walk you through it. But basically what we're gonna be doing is doing one arm and we're gonna be rotating our upper back a little bit as we do the movement. What this is gonna do is help get some movement through our thoracic spine, which tends to be stiff, in contrast with our low back, which tends to move too much. So by working through that little rotation there in the thoracic spine, it's gonna help loosen that up in there. Doing it without any weight at all is actually very good just for warming up the tissues. So you just think about 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps with these, of course doing both sides, and you just need one band and a place to anchor it. Let's get into position for the single arm face pull with the thoracic rotation. You're going to mount a band about 4 to 6 inches above your head, okay? If it's in line with your head, that is okay too, but somewhere about here in this range, all right? So you're gonna mount the band, and what we're gonna do is we're going to do a staggered stance with our feet. So let me just kind of get my arms wrapped up with these bands here. Staggered stance, so that basically I'm gonna have my right arm be my working arm right now. So my right leg is going to go back just about 1 step length back, like what's 1 stride length for you. And as far as how far apart your feet will be, they can be about hip width apart or slightly wider, okay? So since we're doing that staggered stance, you just wanna basically feel stable, okay? So, and definitely directly in line with the band. So you don't wanna be like way over here angled or over there, okay? So coming out straight from the band. So 1 leg back with that staggered stance, a slight bend in the front knee there. And we want to gently engage our abdominals, right? So we keep a nice upright torso during the movement. We don't wanna be leaned forward and we don't wanna be leaned back, okay? Just nice and upright like this. All right, so with the band, you can wrap them around your hands or you can just hold on to them, like it doesn't really matter. But as far as your palms go, your palms can either be facing down or you can have them with the thumbs facing up in the starting position, okay? My palms are facing each other. So we're only doing the single arm, right? So depending on how you have your band tied, like right now I have a knot in it, so I could actually let go of this one entirely and just, you know, do the single arm. But say you wrap the band around here and didn't tie it, then like the side would just come loose. So you can use the other hand to just kind of hold the band in place as like a counterbalance. Just kind of hold it there while you do the exercise, okay? So either way is fine. You can see that the band is kind of holding my arm out to the front of me, kind of around shoulder height or so, okay? And your arm will be staying that way as the elbow comes back. The elbow is gonna stay either in line with your shoulder joint or just a little bit below. I'll show that to you from the front too. Hi, I'm Rayzel. If you're a woman in your over 40s like myself and you've wanted to start doing resistance training, but up to this point just felt intimidated, worried about hurting yourself, I create in-depth tutorials that show you how to do these different dumbbell and resistance band movements and really try to break it down. Additionally, over on my website, I have other features like how to avoid common mistakes, ways to make the movement easier, how to make it harder, variations, just all sorts of fun stuff like that. So if you like my style of teaching and you'd like to keep learning with me, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com. From the front, you can see what I was talking about the height of the arms here in front of my body a little better, and that as we bring our arms back in a second, the arms are gonna stay, the elbows either in line with the shoulders or a little bit lower. So we wanna keep them in here because that's what's gonna work the rear delt. As our upper arm gets too low, like down close to our torso, then that starts working more of our lat muscles, okay? So you wanna keep the arms in this range here. Now the other thing you can see from this angle is keeping your hips and shoulders squared to the front, okay? So if you see me here, hopefully you can, you want your hips and shoulders squared to the front, and you want them to stay that way as you pull back and then rotate that thoracic spine. You want this hip to stay right where it is. There's gonna be a tendency for it to go back, right? But you want to keep it right where it is, and we're only rotating up through the spine in there, okay? To do the movement, you're going to pull back with the elbow until it gets in line with your torso or behind your torso a little bit. And then you're going to rotate your forearm up like this. And as you do this, okay, let's do one step at a time. So first, the regular face pull, right, is arm back like this, and then rotate the forearm up, right? That's external rotation. So there's that part, okay? Once you have this, the idea is to now add in that thoracic rotation when we do the external rotation. So here, we're pulling the arm back, and then as I bring my forearm vertical, I'm also going to kind of go back a little further and rotate here at my thoracic spine, okay? It's hard to talk when my neck is way over there. Okay, so just kind of like this. Making sure that we're not also turning our hip back, right? So keep those hips forward. There's not really a lot of rotation here at the spine, it's just a little bit. And you can kind of take your head. I like to take my head with my arm, otherwise it feels a little funky. Just do what feels comfortable for you, but this is what it looks like. Let's do a few from the front now, and I want you to see that as I pull the arm back and then rotate the forearm up, I want you to kind of take notice of how bent my elbow is, okay? So a normal amount of elbow bend for this particular exercise is either going to be 90 degrees bent, right angle, or a little less. So somewhere between 70 and 90. What you don't want is kind of bending in real far. That's going to make it easy and not really work the rear delt very well, okay? But we're also not doing straight. This isn't a fly. So pulling back, rotating back, and keeping that elbow bend 70 to 90 degrees. Let's go ahead and do a few together now. Thanks for being with me today, ladies. Once again, I'm Rizal, and if you like doing these movements and you'd like to do full-length follow-along workouts with me in beautiful outdoor nature settings, along with chill music, none of that intense stuff anymore, if that sounds good to you and you like my style of teaching, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com.